In the present day, corporate governments and its movement, corporate culture and its necessity, where corporation has to build up a social face of its own, which is with a distinct style compared to other organizations, in order to have a specific place in the place of in the eyes of the onlookers of various organizations. Every corporation has to build its own diversity, its own subculture, and its own social face, for which the requirement is true diversity building. Now, let us discuss what is true diversity building and how it can be done. True diversity building can be done only through learning and implementing. Diversity building can happen only when you go beyond compliance. We must provide learning and analytics that measure the impact of social dynamics in the workplace. Train your people with relevant content. Capture the benchmarks which tell the health of your workplace culture. Here, I repeat the word workplace, health of workplace culture. A strong diversity and inclusion strategy can help our organization to drive for an innovative result. There is plenty of evidence that having a diverse and inclusive workplace is good for building business, not only building business but building true diversity. Why are many organizations barely going beyond compliance? HR professionals who explore how the profession can make a difference. It seems the argument around how to achieve true diversity at all levels, including gender, race, religion, has been going round the circles for some time, with the signs of progress remaining at a premium. A recent roundtable discussion among very senior HR professionals hosted by Specialist Network sought to move an argument, an attempt to find out how employees' good intentions could be transformed into more effective action. I repeat, how employees' good intentions could be transformed into more effective action. A director of network, a part of the executive network group, kicks off the discussion with a harsh truth. Employers are still playing catch up by focusing on meeting legal requirements like reporting and preparing for the possibility pay gap reporting, which the government has indicated could become mandatory, rather than developing a proactive diversity initiatives. So it is clearly, you can know, we can get an idea that there is necessity of developing a proactive diversity initiatives. Those initiatives have to be taken by the organization through various branches and by creating various subcultures. A lot of HR directors speak to feel they are being very reactive, trying to appease people or trying to deal with the latest lobbying groups. They are playing catch up with these rather than embracing the power of diversity and inclusivity. Here, the lapse we can find out in these sentences. Please listen once again. Rather than embracing the power of diversity and inclusivity. So, the power of embracing diversity and inclusivity is very, very essential for the present day organizations. Do they hold the administration? Do they hold genuine value for your organization? Do they perpetuate diversity and inclusion within your organization, or any potential barriers? Global heads of the talent acquisition strategy and programs say there is significant difference between an organization actually making change happen and one that is simply box ticking. You can tell the authentic agendas from the ones that are trying to create an illusion that they are doing the right thing and they are changing. You can discover that quite easily when you talk to the people within the organization. Whether it is a fact or not, you can get the feeling, that get the touch, the real feeling of the people who are working, whether this is a fact or not. So the challenging the idea that the middle managers are often a barrier to progress. Noting that there are lots of other cultural layers organization need to unpick. The middle managers were really able to make a difference if senior leaders have not made them accountable for their actions. For example, you can create strategy, but if you have not got the leaders at every level for accountability and consequence management, then nothing will change. So the change, just merely calling for the change and calling for the recruitment, calling for the various other modalities will not bring, unless the people working in the organization have a commitment that through recruitment process, sometimes a major throwing off a setback for some groups, while technology has made some areas of recruitment easier. The very process of recruitment is the fundamental stepping stone for creating diversity. So the role of HR is very, very essential in bringing true diversity, in building true diversity in the organization. So HR professionals, starting from number one down to their level of the unit, they must be explained, they must be trained, they must be encouraged to do this true building of diversity in an organization. We need several mentors for an organization to create a good subculture. Here I want to emphasize, unless you create a good subculture in every branch of the organization down to the level of the unit, which is not possible. Why did a person long time firm favorite decide to leave or feeling harassed? Why this idea has come? A change in that subfunctional culture. A few, when I asked, what about your leadership team? Where do they stand in all of this? He said, I have had no support system of leaders over the year, but the culture had gotten so bad. So this sort of replies will come from the middle managers and even the junior level managers. When there is no good stream of management of corporate governance, starting from top to bottom, in a particular emphasized manner of creating good subcultures and integrating with the main cultural face of the organization, that cannot create true diversity in an organization. Apparently, employees have both good and bad bosses at almost comparable rates. Good leadership does not reduce employee turnover precisely because of good leadership. Supportive managers empower employees to take on challenging assignments with greater responsibilities, which sets employees up to be strong external job candidates. Misaligned vision and leader of a function. Not being able to see how my role fits into the bigger picture. If that attitude is not there, if that attitude is not inculcated, there is no possibility of creating real, true diversity in an organization. So increased toxicity shall be avoided. Lack of connection, appreciation, and affinity. Once again, I read this is very essential. Lack of connection, appreciation, and affinity. Not challenged, appreciated, or feeling disconnected from the team as a whole. An extroverted workplace with no flexibility for introverts to manage their energy and time to produce their best work. Such an atmosphere, there is no possibility of creating true diversity, which is an essential requirement for the present day corporations for good governance. Uncertainty during the hard times and massive change. Culture of impossible wins with an unattainable and unrealistic goal setting. Not having structured processes that support workplace flexibility to have forced people to leave. An organizational culture will have several subcultures. I repeat this sentence. An organizational culture will have several subcultures. Everybody may not quit because of the market conditions, but they will not give you the best. Even though they are with you, they will not give you the best. It is our duty to review and guide the building a good subculture. We need mentoring, the role of mentors, the role of senior most people, the role of people with a lot of observation, keen observers will play a great role. Only when we create or when we build true diversity, which can feed to the needs of all types of the humans working in that organization, leaders in the organization, that is duly building the subcultures and integrating these subcultures to the main organizational culture, at the same time creating and building diversity, true diversity will help the organization to go forward, to make more financial gains, and at the same time success in the organization in a unified manner. Thank you very much.